Was 2010 the greatest year ever to be a Transformers fan? I mean, think about it. Not only did you have the excellent Revenge of the Fallen movie line figures still going strong at the start of the year, but then that transitioned into the Hunt for the Decepticons line, which so many bangers, and then the Reveal the Shield line after that, again with so many excellent figures. What I think is often overshadowed is that we also saw the beginnings of Generations. That's right, that line, which goes on today, started in 2010 with 19 deluxe figures. Well, big deal, right? Well, yes, these figures were incredible. We got G1 updates, we got IDW comic bangers, we got War for Cybertron figures, we got 3 Seekers. I mean, it was just such an excellent line. And the best part that I'm going to try to explain to you within this video today is that even in 2026 as a collector, this might be the best line to collect for. These figures, apart from one, are still crazy cheap to pick up, even still on card, and that's why I think this might be the best line right now to be collecting as a Transformers fan. And by the way, since the real theme of this channel is unlocking old memories and making new ones with plastic things, I am super excited to introduce to you my guest host for this video. Check him out.
Please be careful. You don't want to be in the way when my laser goes off. You were right all along. I'm not a space ranger. Just a toy, a stupid, little, insignificant toy.
Well, Buzz, that's simply not true. You're in fact a really smart, programmable, and incredibly interactive robot from the really cool people at Roboson. The fit and finish on this Buzz Lightyear robot is actually top-notch collector quality, and I'm super happy Roboson sent him to me to check out in my own home.
Actually, I'm stationed up in the Gamma Quadrant of Sector 4 as a member of the elite Universe Protection Unit of the Space Ranger Corps. I protect the galaxy from the threat of invasion from the evil Emperor Zurg, sworn enemy of the Galactic Alliance.
Yes, that's right, Buzz, I forgot. But you also come with a really cool quick start guide. Hey, Buzz. Record mission log.
Buzz Lightyear mission log started 4072. My ship is run on course en route to Sector 12. I've crash landed on a strange planet. The impact must have woke me from hypersleep.
I love the way his eyes and mouth move and the fact he contains over 200 nostalgic original movie lines.
Somewhere in that pad of stuffing is a toy who taught me that life's only worth living if you're being loved by a kid. And I traveled all this way to rescue that toy because I believed him.
The package also includes a safety manual, which of course with toys like this is always important to have around. It doesn't hurt to check that thing out. And even better, it comes with a bag full of extra hands and a couple extra soles for his feet. So you can either have Andy on the foot or not have Andy on the foot if you want. The hands are packaged really well, which is great because the detail and the paint and the finish just look incredible on them. And I especially love that he has hands with fully articulating fingers. Just be careful what you do with that. The pointing hands are great too, because it seems like Buzz was always telling other people what to do, so let's quickly pop on one of those. And yes, it's really as simple as just pulling the old hand out and then pushing the new one into place, and they hold really well. And now Buzz can command you as well. I'd like to tell you to check out the cool app. You can download the Roboson app from your app store of choice, and it gives you lots of cool things to do. Connecting the app to the Buzz Lightyear robot was so simple. It took just a couple seconds. Once it noticed the robot was on, it made the connection, and then all I had to do was okay that connection and we were good to go.
Not today, Zurg.
And of course, like with so many Roboson products, you can use the app to program him to make movements of your own design, and you can even do that on the web as well. It's really cool. As Transformers collectors, we talk a lot about movie and animation accuracy, and Buzz Lightyear's design is perfect. Every inch of him looks exactly like he did in the movies. It's truly an incredible design, and amazing that he has so many extra features. And yes, all the buttons work and they all do different things, but I'm not going to tell you everything. You got to enjoy some surprises for yourself.
Me debo de haber estrellado y se me ha borrado la memoria. ¿Han visto mi nave espacial?
And of course, with all those servos and joints, you know Buzz can cut a rug, well, in this case, a kitchen floor, and he can walk across that floor just fine as well, and he can put up a fight too. But maybe pop his fist back on for that one. He's gonna put somebody's eye out. Well, of course he's not gonna do that, but he is gonna stay on my shelf next to my other favorite collectibles because I think he's pretty awesome.
Well, whatever happens, at least we'll all be together.
If you think he's as cool as I do, check out the Robeson website now. It'll tell you all the nerdy stuff about the servos and components and microchips involved in making this guy really impressive. And he really is one impressive robot. And speaking of impressive robots, let's start these reviews.
Returning to Star Command.
Let's kick things off with Warpath, G1 Nostalgia Perfection. This is Generations Warpath, and this guy is just absolute perfection. One thing I love so much about him is that he feels like he would be just as comfortable with your G1 collection as he would be with the Studio Series collection. Now, of course, G1 Warpath was a mini vehicle, but regardless, the color, the everything, the look, they just nailed all of it, that he would fit right in, I feel like, with a bunch of your G1 figures. But again, he also looks just as good with Studio Series figures. Like with all these, he doesn't have, of course, all the articulation that you might want, but otherwise this is such a solid tank mode. It looks just so good. Can't say enough about it. Like, the plastic feels good. He feels solid, dare I say solid as a tank. Everything you would want from the tank. The turret goes all the way around. He has the fun weapons on the side. He has the labeling on the side here is kind of fun. He's got K490W, I believe that is, right? Yeah, and that of course says Kapow. And then over here, you've got ZOW333, which is Zowie, and that's, of course, referencing him from the G1 cartoon and how he spoke. Oh, they don't call me Warpath because I'm gentle.
Blam! Zing 'em! Bam! Gotcha! Boom! Bang! Yeah!
It was such a fun character. Voiced so well, and yeah, I really love Warpath. I loved his character, and I really love this figure. Like I say, I don't honestly need another one, but you know, I would take one because I do love the character. So anyway, this is such a really cool alt mode. You can see some of the details. The silver paint on the treads looks so good. Of course, they do have wheels, so he will roll. And again, otherwise the red and silver, everything just comes off so clean. He's got plenty of C-clips on here, so if you have any C-clip weapons like Darkmount, we'll talk about, has plenty of C-clip weapons, so you could always take some of those off and stick him on here in either mode. So having those extra C-clips is fun. And yeah, he's got the weapons on the side here. Now, what I don't have with mine, this is one of the few I actually didn't buy brand new, is the missile that would go in here. And I'm not sweating that too much because it was awkward anyway. The missile goes in the front, and of course you have a big part of it sticking out of the back, and I think a lot of people would end up just clipping off the missile or something so it didn't look as weird. I love gimmicks. I love firing missiles. That's always cool. But in his case, even if I had the missile, I definitely probably wouldn't keep it in there. So I don't mind the fact that it's missing. Will I possibly pick it up someday on eBay just so it's complete? Maybe, yeah. But anyway, don't really need it. But yeah, that is Warpath, and he looks so cool. And the transformation is really clean and fun as well. Oh, wait, before we do that, one more thing that is kind of fun. If Warpath is out on the battlefield and he just needs a better look, you can always just do this, which I think is hilarious. Yes, his head pops up. He has his own little bit of automorph there, which is really fun. So you can do that in the tank mode, which I just find hilarious. But anyway, for proper transformation, we want to start by just untabbing the back from the front, and that's using this gray bit right here. And you can just stretch his whole body out, and the joints, at least on mine, are really tight, which is great. Split the legs, of course, come around to the back, and what you want to do is untab this part of the wheel, the leg, just enough so that you can fold the whole thing down, and then you can fold that back into place like that, push the foot back, and then bring the leg forward like so. Same thing on the other side. We'll kind of untab it, bring the foot down, pull this bit back around, tab it in, and then bring the leg to the front, just like that. Now for the arms, we'll come around to the back, untab them from the back like this so we can bring them down. We can flip out the fist like so and close that up. Same thing on the other side. We'll untab the panel here, bring the arm down, pop out the fist, and then close that panel back up. And now for the torso, you want to take this bit and kind of fold it, leave it about a 90-degree angle, and then you're going to bring this whole bit down. And you have this tab right here that's going to go into this tab slot right here. So you're just going to kind of push it back and down until it all kind of goes back in there, and then you can snap it into place just like that. And then of course finally you can push his turret in to pop the head up. And for the weapons, you can actually bring those up on his shoulders and of course reload that missile if you want to do that. But anyway, now you have Warpath in his incredible looking alt mode. Just such a perfect figure in my opinion. There's hardly anything wrong with this. He is pretty well articulated. You can get some decent poses out of him. Without ankle tilt, you do have these big wide feet, so he's still able to stand in some fun poses. And arm articulation, I think the arms do go all the way around. We're not going deep into articulation for any of these. I don't know why I'm doing it for Warpath, other than I just love messing around with this figure. Because again, Generations, they pose I think better than people think they would, but of course they're missing a bit of modern articulation here and there that some people would want. But otherwise, I'm doing this because I think they're all great figures. So that is Warpath in his robot mode, and I just think he looks absolutely incredible. And now let's just move on to the next.
Open the pod bay doors.
Up next, it's the cantankerous but awesome Sergeant Cup, a G1 legend reimagined. Cup might be one of my favorite characters from the '86 movie. I just really liked his attitude, his sort of grumpy old man bit, and you know the way he could his old war stories and things like that. And he was just—I thought it was a really fun character. And yeah, so here we have the Generations version of Cup, which is definitely a slightly modern take and more earthbound take with a good proper pickup truck. And you can see that you got him there. And here we have the Studio Series '86 version of Cup, which I know a lot of people don't love this version. I don't hate it. I think it's not bad, and it's fairly accurate to what we saw in the film. But again, I always put fun over accuracy and just aesthetics over accuracy. It might be accurate to the movie or a cartoon, but it still might not look as good to me as some other things. And in this case, I really do prefer this version of Cup. I just think this is so much fun having him. The pickup truck motif just fits for his character all the way around. So I think it's a fun modern take on him, 100%. And of course, pinwheels, he rolls really well. And again, yeah, he's a proper pickup truck. And thanks to the transformation, you can actually put the door of the truck back just like that to get to the truck bed. And I suppose you could throw some Lego characters in there and take them for a ride if you want. I just happen to have them handy. Whoops. Close that up, stick them in there. And so it is a functional truck bed, which is also fun. They don't like to sit up too well in there, but anyway, yeah, it's just a really cool figure in a super cool alt mode. Looking closer, just love all these little details, the paint for the grille and the translucent headlights. I love this shade of green. It really looks good for me. It's subtle, but it's definitely a throwback. Like, it's unmistakably Cup. So I really like that shade of green. I like the little detail of the truck bed here, the non-slip stuff on the truck bed. That's really neat. And yeah, it's pretty clean underneath too. And of course, you notice his weapon stores quite nicely underneath as well. This wouldn't be the first time in the Generations line weapon storage actually also serves as some functionality for the alt mode with the exhaust here. So you see how his weapon, it'll sit on this port right here and slide through here to create one of the exhaust pipes, which is really clever way to do it. And yeah, he just has this large rifle. So we can get a good shot of that there. Here we go. He's got this large rifle for his weapon. Fitting or not, it's certainly a really cool weapon. Almost looks like a big shotgun too, but really cool oversized weapon. So I like that quite a bit. But yeah, just really love this alt mode. Rolls really well, and it's just a lot of fun. And again, like I say, looks great with the other figures in the line. And just here's a little size comparison for here he is with Scourge and Drift as well. And yeah, anyway, I just like showing all these figures. They're so much fun. But yeah, that is Cup in his alt mode. Now let's go ahead and get him transformed into his, what I think is a really cool robot mode. So to transform Cup, we'll start underneath here by looking at this pretty interesting engineering on the wheels here. You kind of untab those and bring them down on these hinges. Just like that, just to kind of get them out of the way. And then to make life easier on yourself, you're just going to give them a little split right here to untab the roof section. You can kind of bring that up. And in fact, while you're here, you can go ahead and fold it this way to help bring the hood up and out. Then you can bring it up and you can tuck that hood away and just kind of leave this up here. And that'll make it easier to untab the arms here on either side. Just pull those out and then bring them out to the side and bring everything up. Because now with everything up, you can grab him right here and give him a little twist all the way around until he pushes into place, snaps into place right there. And there you see Cup's head. Now for the head, you want to make sure you kind of pull it up a little bit until it's in place. Then for the backpack, we just want to make sure the wheels and things are out of the way. Then we can pull the backpack down as far as it'll go, and it'll just kind of rest there, right about there. And then you can start straightening up the arms. I like to bring the wheels up, kind of up there like that. And then we can shape up the arms how we like them, just like so. Bring the wheels up like that. We'll finish them up in a minute. We'll go ahead and do the legs that have already split on me. Obviously you want to untab the legs, and then you can grab this bit here and just bring them out, and this becomes the heel, so you kind of push that out. So fold them out, bring that heel out just like so. And then this part here, these are on ball joints. You just kind of want to bring them in so that you can tuck this piece down, and they got to be kind of in the right spot so they'll fit into the crevice here. So you might have to work with them a little bit until they're in place, because they can get in the way. So they're on these ball joints, just make it a little tricky because they can move around on you. But once you have them in the right spot, you can get these folded down. You see where it's wanting to catch, and you just have to make sure it doesn't catch on either side. In fact, angling it a bit helps. So you see here, when you start to push it down, just angle it so it doesn't catch on that side and can move into space. And then you can push them right down and get everything into place. And like I say, you can fix the arms. Now these panels are meant to twist around. I kind of like them back where they're not covering the whole hand. I believe they suggest doing that, but that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I like keeping them back like this. Just like so. Fix the tires again, just sort of straighten everything up. And now here we have Cup in his really cool alt mode. Once again, it's just sort of a modern take that I really like. There's no confusing this is Cup. This is definitely Cup, but he certainly has a sort of 2010s, almost sort of movie-verse, modernized look to him, which I think works really well, and I like him quite a bit. The face sculpt is okay. He looks like he might be in pain, but he has great light piping, which is really cool. A few of these figures have some really fun light piping, and I always love to see good light piping. Otherwise, yeah, not a lot to say other than the details are good, and he is just a lot of fun to transform back and forth. He has a great profile, he's very slim, and just looks really cool. You can bring Wheelie back in next to him, and they make a nice little duo right there. And yeah, as you can see, just really fun bots. As you can see, as we start going through all of this line, as far as I'm concerned, there are no real misses, and it's just a whole lot of hits. And of course, we can bring in his rifle. It's got a C-clip, so you could clip it to the back up here, right here as storage. And again, these C-clips sometimes be a little tricky to work with, especially when you're looking around a camera, but you can clip it into the back there, and you can see he can kind of have it up over his shoulder a little bit like that, which is pretty cool. But you can, of course, take it off, and using that 5mm port, stick it in his hand, and he can have this giant rifle in his hand. And yeah, by the way, lots of modern articulation, including hip swivel on these guys. He even has a little ankle tilt, so he's actually really fun to pose, and you can get him a lot of dynamic poses. Very fun figure. Really love it. Absolutely, probably one of my faves, and I'm probably going to say that for just about every one of those. Maybe that'll be a running gag. But anyway, that is Cup. Let's move on to the next.
The slingshot maneuver is all we've got. Full speed ahead.
I don't know why some people have a problem with this guy. It's Wheelie and he's awesome. Wheelie. Vroom.
That was pretty good. Let's talk about Wheelie. Of course, now Wheelie is slightly different from the other figures, as he was originally in the Asian markets only. After their original 2010 line of Generations, Takara produced some Asian-only figures that were mostly redecos, repaints, that sort of thing. Which, interestingly enough, they came in the exact same sort of box art and box style as the Generations line. But ultimately, they decided to bring them to the States for the 2012 holiday season. I think as Toys R Us exclusives. And so when they did that, the boxes actually suddenly had the Chinese lettering on the front of the boxes. I guess just to sort of accentuate or emphasize that they were in fact imports in a way, but they were sold in the U.S. So you know, I guess they thought that might make them slightly more attractive or more unique. But anyway, regardless, this has to be one of the best ones that came out of that line. This is such a inventive, creative repaint of the, I believe, Reveal the Shield Jazz figure, which a lot of people know that one pretty well. But this, of course, is Wheelie, and I've just always loved Wheelie all the way from G1. Orange is one of my favorite colors, so him having those shades of orange, I think, just look great. And here, of course, you have him with the Studio Series version. You can kind of see the comparison there, but this is definitely a modernized take on Wheelie, but I personally really like it. I think it looks really cool. It looks great there with Drift as well, or even if you bring them in Cup. I just think these alt modes just look so cool, and they're fun together. Even though you have a couple G1 figures and an IDW figure, I think this just aesthetic is just fun to put together and all very cool. And of course, we'll discuss these guys separately. But looking once again at Wheelie, yes, this is, of course, a Jazz repaint, but it is pretty cool. And popping out from the bottom is his accessory, which is his slingshot that they've turned into a blaster, if you want to do it that way. So they gave a little 5mm post there on the bottom, so he can hold it as a blaster if you want to, but it just looks a little weird. Wheelie should have a slingshot, but then now that he has a slingshot, it does have a handle on the side. So either way, it's a little odd, but again, it's just kind of a modern take on him. But that does store on the port underneath. It doesn't do it very well. You kind of have to tuck it in there and kind of angle it to the side so it doesn't affect the clearance. And otherwise, 4-pin wheels that do roll really well. All these figures, for the most part, just roll really well. And again, just goes back to the fun factor of what makes these things so really worth picking up and really worth the price of just being fun figures. But anyway, let's go ahead and quickly transform him into his robot mode now. And if you're familiar, it's just like the Jazz, it's just like the Reveal the Shield Jazz. So he does have the speakers here, which was a feature of Jazz. It doesn't make as much sense for Wheelie, but he can do it. You have these little speakers here that connect with C-clips. And you can see how they're tabbed in here. That's the best way to store them, to be able to shut the doors. But if you move them around and up, you can have the speakers exposed, just like Jazz did. So we can pull those out. It's kind of tricky to do it and not have them pop off the C-clips like this one did. But because these are a little loose for me, I have to actually get in here and twist it around, clip it back on, and then there you have the speaker, which is a fun little feature. Even for Wheelie, it's pretty cool. You can just see him at the Autobot party preparing the music, blasting the music while everyone else shows up. So it's kind of fun that he has that option. Anyway, let's go ahead and, for convenience sake, I'm just going to pop these off for now and get them out of the way off those C-clips. So with the doors open, we can actually come to the back and work on the legs. And there's two transparent plastic clips that hold the roof to the back. And the best way to remove the legs is to kind of lift them up like this, and that'll help remove them from those two clips. Again, if I have one complaint about a lot of these figures, it's how often they use clear plastic for pretty serious joints and clips, and that makes me nervous. But anyway, the rest of the legs, you're just stretching them out, untabbing them, then you want to grab the feet and pull them out on either side. And then you want to make sure that you bend these all the way back so as far as they'll go. So just bring that back like that. And then I'll leave this part down that you can push the foot up against, and that kind of completes the look of the leg. Same thing over here. Push it all the way back like that. Then you can bring the foot up And you have the legs in place, just like so. And now let's go ahead and move the camera up a bit. Okay, so of course for the top of the body, we just want to make sure the windshield is out of the way, and then we'll bring the hands up so we can fold the wheels out like so. And get all this up out of the way so we can see a little bit. Like I said, a lot of these figures have fun little surprises, and Wheelie has a little automorph feature, so as you close this down, his head pops up and you get the head reveal there. Then you just straighten out the arms on either side, move them into place. I'm trying to do that, popping it off because I'm trying to look around the camera here. Move the arms into place. Get everything twisted the right way. There we go. Fist in shape. And there we have Wheelie in his really cool, very different alt mode that I just honestly really like.
You know, this is certainly not your father's Wheelie, but hey, I'm that guy and I like him. Well, I mean, I'm not your, I mean, I was born, I watched the original cartoon. So anyway, I loved Wheelie, and I know a lot of people really found him kind of annoying. So in that sense, maybe a lot of people aren't really Wheelie purists and they're okay with him looking considerably different, or maybe they just don't care. But regardless, yes, this is certainly a new take on Wheelie, and of course it is just a repaint, but I think he just looks so much fun. I always loved the shades of orange on Wheelie. It's my favorite color, and I love what they've done here with them, with this repaint from Jazz. I think it just works. I think it's a lot of fun. He's still got the speakers. You can lift those up and point them over the wheels on the back to give him that look. He's got his he's still got his slingshot, which they've, like I said, they put the post on it so you can, of course, wield that as a weapon as well. A little tricky to get in there, but there you go. And yeah, since he has this pretty sweet mold, he's got some pretty good articulation as well, and just all around it's a really fun, good looking figure. Now on a Studio Series or 86 or a Movie 86 shelf, I don't know if Wheelie is going to fit, but I'm not really a collector who's building shelves of all the different timelines and all that sort of thing. I just really love having cool figures of characters I really liked, or characters I don't know, but just the figures are fun. And again, just like all these other figures in the Generations line, looks really cool in both modes, transforms really well, and still has some pretty decent modern articulation to it. So super fun figure. Absolutely love Wheelie. I'll say it again and again and again from one day to the next. This one might be my favorite from the Generations line. It's just because they're all that good. So, you know, they're all my favorites. Anyway, on to the next.
Laser at full power.
This guy ain't no piece of junk, even though his name is Junkheap. Let's check out this Junkion and stop saying junk so much.
I think every line needs a really cool motorcycle, and we get one this time around with a repaint of the Reveal the Shield Wreck-R in the form of Junkheap. And this is just such a cool bike mode. I love all the detailing on it, and I love, again, these typical Junkion Wreck-R colors, the reds and yellows and blacks, and it just looks so cool. Love the Autobot logo there on the front. Such a fun design. There's so many great engine details and paint apps on this thing to really bring it alive. Really cool. And he has cool weapon storage over here. This is his sort of axe thing here that serves as part of the bike spokes, but this will come off to form his weapon, which is really cool. I love when storage weapon storage just becomes part of the alt mode like that. It's so fun. And you can see here just the really great details in the tires. The kickstand works pretty darn well. If he's transformed correctly, the kickstand works pretty well.
And by the way, since I happen to have 2 copies of Junkheap, I can show you a really interesting thing they added to this figure as a result of what we saw them do in the movie. And by the way, why do I have 2 of these? Well, that's because this one, the handlebars actually broke. I'd ordered it loose on eBay, got it pretty cheaply, but that came in, I mean, it was like literally like $10 or something like that. But one transformation in, this bit snapped off. It is soft rubber, the handlebar, so that's kind of a bummer. But so again, these figures are so cheap. Got online, ordered another copy to replace this one. It was like 25 bucks, brand new on card. So now I have two, which is actually kind of fun because if you'll notice, there are a couple big chunky ports right here on the seat. And what they have for this mold, and I'm sure it was the same with Wreck-Gar, of course, because this is a Wreck-Gar repaint. Hopefully the bike will set up. You see two big chunky posts right there on his crotch. And of course the whole point of that is those will post into the seat and he can sit on the bike very snugly. But they are big chunky ports and tabs, so it takes a lot of pressure to get him in there. But once he's in there, he is going to stick, and he's going to be able to ride the bike no problem. And of course, if you had Wreck-Gar, same thing. They could work that way as well. This bike doesn't want to stand very well for me, but that's a fun little feature they added. They thought about the movie where one was riding another one, and so they have it literally set up that way on purpose. So again, really fun mode, really fun mold, and yeah, just want to make sure I showed that off. And now we can keep going with the review.
Not too much more to say about this. You know, it is a motorcycle alt mode, and it does look really cool. And you can sit figures on, and a lot of them can grip the handlebars, so that's all really cool. Otherwise, you can see you even have speedometer details there, and the gas cap. I'm assuming that's the gas cap. Love the stripes here. Just love all the details on this thing. Now, the transformation can be a little quirky, and probably as far as the original Generations lines go, one of the trickier ones, especially, and when things are tricky and you have this plastic, this feels like one that's going to break a lot. I actually have another copy of him that the handlebars are broken on one side, which is a bummer. So you got to be careful about that. These are rubber too, by the way. You got a pin bit here and then rubber, so you really got to be careful with that. But let's go ahead and get him transformed. So for the first part of the transformation, well, we can go ahead while we're here, and we'll go ahead and put that kickstand up. But we'll come around over here, and we need to remove the weapon from here, what's already kind of wanting to remove itself. So you just want to kind of get it untabbed from everything. It will kind of lock into the wheel a little bit, so you want to pull that out and wiggle it so we can get it untabbed and removed from the rest of the bike here. And I just want to make sure I do it properly. It kind of clips on right in here. We just want to remove that, what's actually technically a C-clip. So once again, we're using the C-clips here. So open that up like that. You can kind of fold the C-clip out of the way, and then you can move these out, and here you have this fun little battle axe here. So that's his weapon. I love the storage. I love how that works. But now we'll set that aside. We'll go ahead and do the rest of the transformation process. So what we want to do next is we want to get this back wheel untabbed. You see it's got a little joint here to fold up. Before you do that, you want to kind of pull it out. Get that big tab out. That's a fairly long tab, and again, the problem with stuff like this is you're tugging against this joint to get this untabbed, so just enough to get it out of there, and then we can push it up like that. And again, be careful transforming this thing because it's problematic. Now we want to come around and take this front bit here, which pegs in, by the way, to the tire here. The tire joint's right here, so you kind of want to pull that out and bring the whole thing up, just like so. And now you can see these two bits are going to form the legs, and the arms are going to come out of the tire here. You can see the arms there and these bits that are going to be the legs. So then for the legs here, you see they're kind of clipped in here together, so you just want to kind of disconnect them from each other. And then you can start to unfold things for the legs. So we'll go ahead and kind of bring that bit down like that. Again, this plastic, this one makes me more nervous than any of the others, but same thing over here. We'll fold this down. Before we mess with the legs too much now, we want to take these two yellow parts here. You see the hip, the crotch there. We're going to take this and we're going to push them in together and let them kind of snap into place in here. So that will hold the legs into place like that. So this foot over here is pretty easy, of course. You just kind of put that in place. And I think it's kind of on you see it's on a ball joint in there. You can kind of bring it forward, but that'll kind of rest right there, and that'll serve as your foot. Yeah, and you got a heel on the back there. But now for this side, it's a little weirder. You kind of have to bring this bit forward, and then all of this, you're going to kind of push up, and you notice when you push up, the handlebars will kind of fold themselves back into place, and this will be the foot, and it'll come up on that side. So you have a fun little bit of asymmetry here with the legs, but I actually kind of really like. And I believe here as well we can kind of fold that out a bit to open up that foot, and then you have both of the feet done. Now we just have to work on the rest of them. So now we just want to take his torso and twist it, so we bring the chest to the front like that, and then we can bring his head forward and see that brand new head. This is not Retgar's head, this is Junkheap's head. So that's part of the retooling, and that's a really cool head sculpt. I like that quite a bit. And then for the arms, we just kind of have to separate them and start to fold them around. You kind of want to move this piece out of the way and bring this around to the front. And you do see there is a tab here and a tab slot here, so you want to bring that in, push that into place, and that'll tab in. Same thing over here, tab and tab slot, bring that in and tab that in. Then of course the arms, you're just going to kind of bring them down and turn that fist around so it's facing the right direction. Same thing over here, we're going to open up the arm, bring it around, turn that fist around like so, and I believe that is pretty much it. And that is a very fun figure. To me anyway, I think this is a really good looking figure. I think he's really got that G1 Junkion aesthetic vibe with a little bit of modernization to it. He certainly has a little more articulation than you would have seen previously for a figure like this. The ball joints help a bit. There's no ankle tilt, of course, but he does have waist swivel and things like that, and he does look really cool. And I like the asymmetry in the legs. I think that makes him look like he's a junker bike and just a junker guy all the way around, which I think is fun. And of course he can hold his battle axe here in his hand, just kind of lock that in there like that. He can hold that, wield that. Looks like a lot of little pinwheel. He could blow that, but anyway, that's his battle axe, so he can wield that just fine. And he can also, I believe, it will tab into his back. So if you wanted to, you could pop it out of there. And there is you see, this is actually a little C-clip joint here, so you can take the clip, turn it the right way, pop that on there, and then he can wear that on his back. And there you have Junkheap in his robot mode, looking super cool. Yep, this is one of those figures that's so ugly I love it. And so it's definitely it's going to be a love-hate situation. You have the giant tires that kind of sit on the same side over here, but I love, like I said, the asymmetry of the feet. I think it really goes with that junker aesthetic. And again, just the colors, the reds, the yellows, and the grays, and the way everything just works together so well. And this really cool Junkheap head sculpt. Almost looks like he has kind of 3D glasses, like he's going to a 3D movie or something. I don't know, I like that quite a bit. I love his glasses. But anyway, all around really fun figure. And yeah, I'm glad we got a motorcycle in this first generation's line. He looks really cool. So that's Junkheap. Let's move on.
This subtle but clever retool gives us G1 Wheeljack with a really nice modern update.
Wheeljack is another wonderful modern take on a G1 classic character. He is, of course, retooling of turbo tracks here from the reveal of the Shield line, and you can see the front fender has been changed. He has a spoiler, and there's several other changes as well. Now I'm missing the clip-on missiles that Trax had. For Wheeljack, those clip-ons were actually wrenches, and they were retooled to reflect that, which makes sense for Wheeljack's character. But otherwise, you can see it is the same mold, but with a lot of retooling that really makes sure that this is in fact Wheeljack. And I think it just looks super incredible. I love the paint. I love the green and red. It just looks so good, and he's so sleek. The only thing missing, of course, when you don't have the weapons, you have this kind of gap here. It's not broken. It looks kind of like it's broken, but he should have his wrenches clipped on right here and here to fill in that gap. So I don't have those for Wheeljack, which is too bad. I'll try to pick them up someday. Anyway, otherwise, the vehicle mode just looks really good. For me, I'd be quite happy if this was my only version of Wheeljack, because it's such a nice, faithful rendering of his G1 character. Again, with just a few modern amenities that make him that much better. So, really cool alt mode. Pinned wheels, of course. He rows really well and just looks super good. But we have to keep all these short, so let's go ahead and just get him transformed now. If you know anything about the TurboTrax transformation, it's obviously just like that. We'll start by opening this up and bringing it back, and you have his weapon stored away in here. We can bring that out and fold that out. And this for Wheeljack is actually perfect as a clip-on weapon for his shoulder, so we'll clip that on once we have him fully transformed. And now with this out of the way, we can actually take the doors, and we'll go ahead and sort of open them up like that and bring them out. Just kind of unclip them from the sides like so and bring them out. And you can bring out the wings. This of course is a carryover from TurboTrax. You could have the flying mode if you wanted for Wheeljack as well. Doesn't make a lot of sense, and we're not going to keep it that anyway. Next thing we're going to do is split the legs and pull them down. Now unlike TurboTrax, they don't pull down as far. They just pull down a little bit like that, so don't go crazy and keep tucking on them, because that's as far as you need to pull them down. The legs are fairly retooled from TurboTrax. In fact, this is the front for TurboTrax, but for Wheeljack, this part is the front. So you'll actually take this bit here like that and kind of bring it up, and also that brings the tire with it, which was not the case with Wheeljack. And the foot not the case with TurboTrax, and the foot for TurboTrax is now the heel for Wheeljack. So same thing, you kind of pull this down and up like that, and the tire comes down with it, and you have the foot in the back to make the heel. And now of course we'll take the arms, we'll push the tires around and get them out of the way, and we'll bring the arms out like this. And then just like with TurboTrax, you get the head reveal by pushing up on the chest, and the chest expands as well, which is pretty cool. So bring all that up, pops out the chest, pops up the head, and just is a really fun little bit of automorph for Wheeljack there. Looks really cool. And now we can come to the back, get this up out of the way. We actually want to take the wings, pull them out and up on either side, pull them out, push it up like that. And then we can bring this whole bit back, and we're going to take this part right here, fold it out, and these two parts will go into the two ports right there. Just kind of tab those in. They just sort of sit into place. Just got to get it lined up and push those in. And we can bring his arms back down like so, and there we pretty much have Wheeljack in his robot mode, looking pretty darn cool and very much accurate, I think, to G1, the G1 toy for sure. Now we can take his gun and we'll just clip that onto his shoulder right there, and you can have that over his shoulder just like that. And there we have him in his really cool looking robot mode. Very beefy, very much G1 Wheeljack, and I think he just looks incredible. Again, so fun to transform, and such a fun figure. And like all of them, they still have decent posability, definitely better than G1, maybe not modern articulation standards, but they still look really good.
A distress signal is coming from that rocket.
Here's another proper repaint of an already great mold. Red Alert in the Generations line. It might be the only Red Alert you need.
Red Alert is probably the best looking fire rescue vehicle you're ever going to see, and he's certainly going to get there to help in a hurry, because he is in fact a Lamborghini, because this one is a redeco of the Universe Sunstreaker Sideswipe mold, I believe. It came out 2008, 2009. It's commonly the case with these characters. A lot of them will end up just being repaints, but it is such a good looking repaint. You see Fire Rescue on the side. On the front here, it's a little bit hard to read, but it also says Fire Rescue, and I love the little badge there. I especially love the Autobot logo peeking out there. I think that just looks really cool. He's got the pinned wheels. He's got the intake valves, the supercharger intake valves that a Sunstreaker had, I believe. And interestingly enough, the light bar, they kind of moved that and screwed that in for Red Alert, so that's attached. And so these are just sort of vestigial indents that nothing goes into those, so that's kind of fun. But anyway, otherwise, just a really cool alt mode. You can see on the back here, it says 5 Alert on the license plate. Alert is what it was called in Japan, and 5 is, I believe, the model number or the toy number for Red Alert. So that's just a fun little license plate detail. The brake lights look really cool. Same thing on the front. I love the translucent cutouts of the lights here. Those look really cool as well. I did mention they use the gun for the exhaust pipes, right? If I didn't, you see his gun. I love great storage like this, storage that actually does something. We'll see that again with Cup. I love when guns are stored like that. I think that works really well. Otherwise, it's very clean on the bottom. I mean, again, just such a perfect bit of engineering where it's not too complicated, but it just really works well. What else to say? You do have the pinned wheels that look really good. Other than that, yeah, just a really cool Lambo fire rescue machine. Don't worry about this bit here. That's my fault for the transformation. I messed up something. The doors usually go in pretty cleanly. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I want to say for his alt mode. Let's go ahead and get him transformed into his robot mode. So as always, we'll just start by removing the accessories, popping them off. And then the next thing we'll do is sort of just start working the doors loose on either side. The doors are kind of the most annoying part of this transformation. They tab in well, but then they get kind of tricky folding out for robot mode. So I just want to pull those all the way out so I have the room to bring the doors down on either side. Separate this so the tabs aren't like hanging on and open it up. There we go. So we can get the doors down out of the way like that. You see they are clipped to their arms. Let's see, next thing we can do is come back here and take these pieces and fold them out into the side. They're basically going to be like his knees or knee guards, so we can bring them out just like that. And then next thing we're going to want to do is just fold the legs all the way down, just like so. You can pull them apart. And then to pop out the feet, you have this little bit right here. You want to look where the red is right there. If you get your thumbnail right on that, you can pop the foot out just like so, and then you can kind of bring it out and around, because the foot is actually going to come this way because that's the knee in the front of the leg. So you bring the foot out just like that. So same thing over here, get that red bit, pop the foot out, then you can kind of fold it around, twist it where you need it to be, and bring the leg around so you have the legs like that. Next thing you're going to want to do, if it wasn't long enough already, is you want to actually grab him right here and pull that out just like that, so you've stretched it up even more, and then you can start working on twisting the wheels around. Bring the arm up like this so you can fold the wheel all the way around just like so. And these can be a little finicky. You just want to make sure they're all the way around cleanly, and if stuff is getting in the way, you might have to twist this around a bit. These wheels can just be really finicky, so you want to make sure you have them in place. If it wasn't pushed up already, push this bit up, then you can bring the whole thing down like that, and then you're just going to push this into place right up here, and it should snap in quite nicely right there. And then you can go about fixing up the arms like these bits. There's several different vehicle modes that have these sort of arms and tires, and I don't like them. They don't hold in really well. But anyway, you kind of want to bring them up to the top like that, and then you can start shaping up his arms. These bits, you can, if you want, twist them back like that, or just however you want them out of the way. I just kind of like to fold them back. There's a right and wrong way, but it's your toy, so you do it however you want. So in that sense, there is no wrong way. So we got them just like that. And now the coolest part of this whole transformation is the head reveal, which happens by taking the windshield here and twisting it around this way, and up pops his head. And there you have, well, last thing to do, twist the waist around. We do want his legs in the front, and there you have Red Alert transformed into his really cool robot mode. I think he just looks super cool, and of course you can take his gun here and pop that in his hand, and then you can do the weird thing they suggest you do with his engine intake. Fold it down like this, and then just sort of push it around the gun. But as many reviewers throughout the history of this figure have noted, it doesn't clip on or hold into anything, so it's just kind of silly. But yeah, you can do that if you want to do that. But anyway, that's kind of silly, so I'm more likely or not just kind of set it to the side and not worry about that. But that is Red Alert, looking super awesome in his robot mode. Again, a wonderful sort of slight reimagining of a G1 character that I just think looks really cool.
Just you and me now, Cadet.
you're in the presence of greatness. But that creamy white made masking him over the title impossible. So here's IDW Drift, and he's really awesome.
A very strong argument could be made that not only is Drift here the best looking deluxe vehicle of the entire first generation's toy line, but it might be one of the best deluxe vehicles ever made. Now, of course, we've come a long way in terms of articulation and things like that, but a good part of our life with Transformers toys has been Transformers that sure were a little clunky and maybe they didn't articulate like action figures, but they just looked incredible in both modes and they were fun to transform, and that's exactly what Drift is. He just embodies all of that. First off, he just looks really cool. And this, of course, is his design from the IDW comics, and it's a great read if you read Spotlight on Drift. It's really fun, a comic and a great story. You find out how Drift turned from a Decepticon to an Autobot, which, you know, when they brought him to the Bayverse, they kind of kept that backstory alive, I believe, a little bit. But regardless, this isn't Bayverse, this is IDW Drift, and he is incredible. You can see the really cool detailing on the side with the kanji that I believe say samurai on them. I could be wrong. I'll correct myself if I was wrong about that. I certainly don't read it. But anyway, you see the clear headlights there, the translucent blue for the windows. And one of the coolest things about him is his accessories. He has one long sword that tucks in nicely in here. It just slides down here to sit in place, and there's two different places where it holds into place, and that just looks incredible and stores so well. And he has two other sneaky little smaller knives that hidden away inside there. So when you see him in robot mode, you'll see what I mean. But yeah, pinned wheels, gorgeous headlights and exhaust, excellent details on the back. Everything clips in so well, and just a beautiful all the way around vehicle mode. It looks absolutely incredible. But anyway, can't spend a lot of time, so let's go ahead and transform him into his even better robot mode. So to begin the transformation, we're going to start by lifting up on the door right here. So we unpeg it from there. Same thing on the other side, just lift up on the door, get it unpegged, and kind of push it out of the way. That way we can take these legs and we can kind of bend this whole bit back and just pull the legs all the way down, fold them all the way out like that, and then we'll split them. And they have this very clever double hinge on here, and the way to do it properly is to bring this foot all the way up to the knee and then fold it in like that, and you have the foot done like that. So once again, because you have to get over this little lip here, but you do that by folding it all the way up to the knee. That'll help bring it over. Then we can just bring it back into place and let it kind of catch right there. And you want to make sure these are all the way back like so. We'll straighten it up in a bit, but that gets his legs done. It's a wonderful transformation. Really cool bit of engineering. Now for the doors, we actually want to bring these down, but one thing we want to do is, you see the hilt for the sword here. We're going to lift that up, and then we're going to take the windshield and push that in. It's really tight, so I really kind of need to use two hands to do it, but kind of push that in like that, and that's kind of got the door where you want it to be. And notice how the sword is sheathed right here on his hip. Very cool. Bring this down, fold the hilt up, bring in the windshield, and bring that down just like that as well. So he's going to have his swords ready to go. For the hood, we're going to want to take these two bits here and just kind of split them in the front, and then fold them over, up and over, like that, to kind of collapse them on top of the arms. Fold it out so you can lift it up and bring it over, and then you can fold them back like that to get them out of the way. Notice his sword already back there waiting for him. So cool. Take this bit, push it up into place to form the chest, and then we're going to take the arms and fold them out. Look at that cool Autobot logo right there. Take the hand, twist it the right way. Same thing over here. Fold the arm out, twist the fist around, and everything is so tight on this figure in just the best possible way. He feels so good. I did buy him new right out of the package, and I'm very glad I did because everything was so tight. And there you go, there you have him in his robot mode, just taking a closer look at just how clean he is right after transformation. Full samurai mode, looks so good. This is such an incredible figure. Like I say, he's got his sword, unsheath that there, we can set him here. Take a look at, a little bit closer look at this sword. Look at the detailing on it right there. That is just so cool. It's a really cool sword. It is rubber, so you got to be careful with it, but again, it just looks really cool. And then of course, like I said, he does have smaller blades sheathed right here, so you can bring those out on either side. He's got those as well, so he's got a lot of weapon options for sure. The articulation and everything about him just looks so incredible. And if you like posing figures and you're much better at it than I am, you have a lot of options with this one. And he can hold his sword in both hands, so again, there are a lot of great ways to pose him. I find him a little finicky in terms of what to do with the shoulders when I'm posing and whatever else, but again, super incredible figure, super incredible character from the comics, the IDW comics, and I'm glad they added him. And this is just such a fun, gorgeous deluxe that I know some people say is probably just about one of the best Transformers ever made, Hasbro ever made. But, you know, I might not be doing him justice here, but he is really incredible. Very fun to transform, awesome in both modes. Anyway, that is Drift. He is awesome. Let's move on.
It's a secret mission in uncharted space. Let's go!
What do you want from me? This modern interpretation of Scourge rules. And I think he's the only Scourge I need.
Now let's talk about Scourge. On any given day, he might be one of my favorites from the original Generations line, just because of how unique and awesome they've modernized such a fun character. Incidentally enough, I picked up another Scourge today at my local Target. This, of course, is the More Than Meets the Eye Studio Series Scourge, but these are currently half off at my Target, so they're 21 bucks. So I'm army building with Scourge instead of the sweeps, because who cares? I mean, when he's that cheap, why not? But hey, that's just also a nice little reminder of what modern Scourge looks like, and of course that's his show accurate alt version there. This isn't show accurate, it's just awesome. It is the Generations Scourge, and it is a blended wing Boeing X-48, I believe, sort of a concept design, and it's just a fun idea for giving Scourge a really cool alt mode. He does have landing gear right here, and by means of these little bits here, nicely little molded landing gear there, and then these bits just sort of pop up to help him stand pretty well. But yeah, this seam is not perfect here, but I don't mind that. Otherwise, I just love the giant intakes. I love the whole idea of the blended wing airplane. Imagine this would have ever been a passenger plane, how you would have had weird theater seating in it. Certainly an interesting concept, but yeah. All around, really cool alt mode, a very unique Scourge. Yes, this isn't what he looked like in the movie, but it's just awesome in this mode, and it's awesome to transform, and the robot mode looks really cool. But you can see some of the details like the windows here, and then you have some molded in windows here. I'm assuming that's what those are, even though they're not painted. And again, love the intakes and a little splash of red in there. And by the way, he can do the thing, so if you grab his head and pull up on it, you can pop his head out and he can do the Scourge thing, which is hilarious and awesome. And I love that in spite of making a new sort of design for Scourge, they kept that aspect there, which is just too fun. So really cool that you're able to do that. And then we can push them back into place. You see the really cool Decepticon logo there. And yeah, all around just really fun. Not too much more to say about this alt mode, except that it is just really cool. Of the back of it, the detailing there as well. Very fun. And yeah, let's go ahead and get Scourge transformed into his robot mode. By the way, I do want to pause here to point out he does also have C-clip joints right here, and I think under here as well. And I failed to mention it when I was talking about Warpath, but a lot of these figures do have the C-clip joints on them, sort of hidden around the bodies. No, those aren't, but anyway, I do want to make note of that, because anytime you have C-clip weapons across the line, they do give you some fun options for using those C-clip weapons with different figures. But anyway, let's go ahead and fold these in, and we can do the full transformation now. So to start the transformation, we can just fold the wings down on either side like that. And then we're going to open up this panel. By the way, if you hear thunder, we're having an excellent thunderstorm right now. And so it's a lot of rain, a lot of thunder, and very vibey, which I like. So anyway, fold the wings down, lift up this flab. That'll allow you to take care of his legs. For the legs, you actually want to sort of lift them off the tab on the bottom there, like that. Then you can split them, untab them from each other, and then fold them down, just like that. And then the feet, you can actually fold those up like so. Just push that up to get your foot. Make sure you pull the legs all the way down so you have them looking like this. And now before we do anything else, I want to show his really cool weapons storage. He does in fact have weapons, and they are stored quite nicely inside the wings. So you can open them up, and here you have one of his guns right there. We'll look at that in a second. Over here on the other side, we can open the wing as well and find his other blaster tucked neatly in there just like that. So very cool weapon storage, really like that. Now for his head, we can bring this back to expose his head, and then you're going to pull it all the way up so it's locked into place just like that. Now for the wings, you actually want to kind of fold them out and flip them over, because we're going to rotate them up. And as you can see, this bit here is going to go through the middle here, and then you have two tabs here that are going to tab into the back. So we're just going to push that up, make sure that goes over there, and then those will tab in quite nicely. And we can go ahead and fold these back up just like that. And now we want to take this, fold it over itself, and bring that back just like that. You can fold that back, and on that double hinge, bring that back to kind of have the wings in place just like that. Now for the arms, we're just going to pull those out. And my cat wants in the room really badly. Pull the other arm out. Pull them like that. They should kind of snap, but it doesn't always happen, and I don't want to pull too hard and them not snap. But we'll pull them out like that for now, and we'll take this chest piece and we'll push that up into place. Just like so. And then for the arms, there's a bit of fun engineering here. We're going to take the top and bottom. We're just going to kind of pull it out. Well, sorry, lift this up first and fold this, and then you can pull the whole thing out like that. And then you're going to twist this whole thing around, and it'll only twist one way because there's a bit there that'll stop it. And now this is going to just push back in like that. We can fold the whole thing over now, and then we can bring the hand down like that. And then the fist is actually hiding inside here. There's a little tab right here. We can grab that, push down to push the fist out just like so. So same thing on the other arm, and if you want to do it sort of backwards, you can bring it around first, and then you can open this up, and you can take this and open it up, pull it out, twist it around, push that shoulder into place, get that tabbed in like that, and then come around here, grab this, pull the fist into place, then rotate it all around, and make sure the shoulders, by the way, come all the way up and nestle in right there. And now we got to push this back up because that tends to not want to go stay in place. So push that up until that's nice and clipped in, just like so. Now we want to push this down, and we want to take the waist, swivel it around like that. And since we had our legs twisted the wrong way, we'll just bring them back around like so. And then clean up the backpack by tapping it back in like that. And again, you can kind of turn the wings down if you want, kind of however you want to look, what kind of cape you'd like to give him. But I gotta look around my camera to make sure you see where those tab in. We need to make sure those tab in properly, and then we can bring that out. And there we go. There we have Scourge. Push that panel up on the back a little bit in his really cool robot mode. Very unique for Scourge, but very much reminiscent of G1 while updating it, giving it kind of a modern look. This is certainly no one would ever miss this guy as being Scourge. He's definitely Scourge, but definitely with a modern take. As for his weapons now, you of course have this really cool pistol here like that, and you notice the C-clip on it. So you can take this other bit that has the C-clip and you can put that on top of the joint there and create a really cool looking weapon for Scourge. And of course you could clip this on any of the C-clips he has on his body, but he can of course hold the gun as well. So we'll just stick that in and give him that really awesome looking gun. And there we have Scourge in a really cool robot mode. I really love this figure, and I'm really impressed that this transforms down into that blended wing, really slim jet. It's just really great engineering on this guy.
Scanning perimeter.
The Generations line gave us, I think, 5 War for Cybertron figures. I'm going to talk about the 2 I own.
One of the other main reasons for the Generations line, or one of the main things they did in it, was give us War for Cybertron figures for the first time. So here we have War for Cybertron Soundwave and War for Cybertron Megatron. They also had Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. I haven't actually picked those up yet, so I won't be featuring them in these videos, but I have more modern version of those that I'm fine with, and honestly, I don't love those figures as much. I do love these two quite a bit, and we'll just go ahead and start with Megatron here because he is a fan favorite, this particular version. The new modern version, the Studio Series version, I believe, still sits on a lot of Target shelves right now. I mean, not because people didn't love it. I think they made a lot of them, but also I know a lot of people personally online that have mentioned they prefer this original version more. I mean, it even has a pew-pew so he can shoot his missile. Man, that thing comes out of there fast. Make sure that's not pointing right at you when you fire that thing because it's got quite a kick to it. But as you can see, yeah, he's pretty faithful to the video game. Looks really good. The treads are kind of nice. They do, I believe you can bring them down like that to be more game accurate, the way he kind of hovered around as opposed to riding around, but you can bring them back up and they kind of sit into this nook right here. I kind of wish they tabbed in a little better, but they sit in that nook like that, and they do of course have little wheels on the bottom, so it will roll a little bit, but otherwise very fun, very nice deluxe mode. War for Cybertron Megatron, and the cannon is just insane. It's such a cool giant gun, and it's got a lot of great details to it. I mean, just a lot going on this thing. They didn't play around. A lot of sculpt work and everything, so that's really cool. But anyway, let's go ahead and get him transferred to what is also a really cool robot mode, and we can start doing that by removing the cannon first, and then kind of probably in no particular order, I'm going to actually kind of lift this up a bit so I can grab his legs and untab them from here, fold up these flaps so they'll stay out of the way, and then I can bring these whole bits down and straighten out his legs. Do that on both sides, just like so, and then we can just bring this back to reveal his big old feet there. And then for the arms, they push in here really tight. Well, we'll start here. We'll take this bit up, we'll untab that from here, and we'll twist that around and bring that down like that. And then for the arms, we're just going to kind of loosen them and untab them from the sides of his shoulders, bring them down like that. We can take this chest plate here now, bring that up, push that into place. Oh, let's bring his head up. There we go. Push the chest plate into place. And now the hands are hiding inside the tread, so we'll pull out the hands on either side. There we go. And then we can push that together. And then we can take this, fold it in like that, and bring it down, and then twist it around so we get the elbow action just like that. Then you have a good arm done. Same thing over here. We'll fold out the hands. I say the hands, it's one hand, but it's in two halves. Push that together, tab it into place, bring this all down, twist around so we get the elbow in the right spot. There you have Megatron in his amazing robot mode, looking very cool, a lot of great details. I just love the red, purple, and black. Really cool Megatron head sculpt, very slim figure. The plastic feels good, not great to me, but it is a fun figure. It's a really fun Despot sort of figure that's really enjoyable to transform back and forth. And of course, this arm cannon will attach to his arm right there. We'll attach it right there to that big chunky tab. And there now he wears this arm cannon and just looks really tough and ready for business. Oh, and make sure to fold these flaps up as well. You can bring them all the way up if you want. His feet are, Lord knows if his feet are big enough. And there you go. There is Megatron, War for Cybertron Megatron in his really cool robot mode. The cannon does weigh his arm down a little bit, but that's okay. It's a monster cannon, and I wouldn't trade it away. I think it looks awesome. But anyway, that is Megatron. Now let's talk about this little Soundwave here, which is also a really fun figure. And one of the main things I love about the Soundwave, again, War for Cybertron Soundwave, the lighter bluish purple here, contrasted with the darker purple and running through the lines like this, almost makes it look alive, like it's glowing with energon or something, perhaps dark energon, I don't know. But anyway, it looks really cool. You'll notice his weapons can store on the side here like that, but he even has a funner way to store his weapons, very sound wavy. You can pop him off here and take his blaster, of course, and just fold that back in. And then you can open up what essentially becomes looks just like a battery compartment, like on an old Soundwave, which is really cool. So you can take the translucent purple handles and they'll fit into the notches here, so you can kind of tuck those into place inside there like you're loading up his batteries, which is kind of fun. Stick them in there and then close that back up, and you have a really fun alternative form of weapon storage. And by the way, these articulate as well, so you can have these all down to make him seem even more deadly and devastating. You can also point these spikes back up and these back down as well. So very cool little compact Cybertronian mode, which I like quite a bit. The back is pretty good as well. I like these bits here, and I was just wish it's tabbed in, but there's a little bit of a gap here. I wish they could have closed that off a little better, but otherwise a really fun figure. And now let's go ahead and get him transformed into his robot mode. And to do that, we'll start with those tabs. We'll kind of untab that and pull this whole bit back to start work on his legs. And what we're going to do for these bits is fold them this way about half until they kind of click into place like that. And then we're going to bring the foot down. Same thing over here. We're going to fold this forward till it kind of clicks into place. And now you have the feet, and you have a very interesting automorph feature here where, I'm sure the light is on this, but you'll notice there's a spring in there, and what happens is when you push the foot back, it's going to actually, there's a tab there and a tab slot. It's actually going to move into place and kind of slide from right to left here into place and click in. So you have to trust the process. Push it back and it'll click in, or you can just do it real fast, but that's what's happening there. You see, you push it back and it'll click into place. So pretty cool. He does have big old clown feet. Several people pointed that out when I did a TikTok on him. It is true, he has big old feet, which is funny, but hey, I don't mind him having good balance, so not too much of a problem for me. The next thing we can do is kind of unhook his arms here. They're tabbed in right here. We can untab those. They're tabbed in pretty well too, so we want to untab this part, and then we can do the same thing over here. Untab this, and then these panels in the top, we're just going to untab those, and then we can kind of bring the panels up and out of the way. And then I'm just going to lift his arms up to take care of these bits here, which really do complete his video game look, which is cool. But these are on kind of a double hinge, so you have to fold this piece back and then bring it forward at the same time, and that'll kind of let it sit back there on his back like that. And then you can kind of do whatever you want with the spiky bit. Same thing over here, so we kind of bring it out and back so it fits into his back just like that. And then for the arms, you're just kind of going to be straightening those out. So we're going to bring them around, bend at the elbow there, grab this bit to pop out the fist, then we can turn the fist. So we have his arm in place like that. Same thing over here, bring it around, bring that down, make sure you pop out the fist, twist it around just like so. And there we have Soundwave in his pretty darn cool robot mode. And yes, we of course can pop out the chest to get his weapons back. And they can be a little tricky to get out of there, but you gotta grab them. Sometimes they'll be a little sticky on you, other times they won't be too bad. We can take those back, and of course, he does have his shoulder blaster cannon. I always hate talking about Soundwave's weapons because, you know, you can get it wrong. And then you have the blaster, which is always a little tricky, and I find this almost with all Soundwaves. The blaster can be a little tricky to get that part back out. Usually I can't kind of grip it enough, so I'll grab some kind of tool, push that out so I can go ahead, pull that into place, Then stick that in its hand. And there you go. There you have Soundwave and Megs in their Cybertronian robot forms from the War for Cybertron video game. By the way, let me know if you've played that. I have recently purchased both games, War and Fall of Cybertron. And so I could play them on the original consoles. So I haven't done that yet, so I need to do that. Notice I've actually got his legs. I'm looking around my camera, and I have quite a contraption set up right now, so sometimes I miss that something is really out of place. So anyway, there you go. There's Megs and Soundwave, War for Cybertron from the Generations line. Two very cool figures. Now on to the next.
Me debo de haber estrellado y se me ha borrado la memoria. ¿Han visto mi nave espacial?
The Generations line gave us 3 Seekers to help complete your set of 6 from that Classics mode. Let's check them out now.
Generations gave us 3 Seekers that actually completed the original 6.
I just said that.
They're all based off this Classics Starscream mode, which is a really great mode. Honestly, I think it's just about as good as we could get until we got the most recent version. I was never a super fan of the, the sieged molds for the Seekers. So you had this, and then the modern ones, of course, are very good. But this is the Classics Starscream mold. You could get him, you could get Ramjet, which I don't have, and in a multi-pack, you could get Skywarp, all from the Classics line. And they're both really great figures. Of course, we're talking about Generations, which means we have Thundercracker here, Dirge, and Thrust. So we're kind of going to work them all together. We'll only show one transformation since they mostly use all the same ideas. But real quickly, looking at Thundercracker, such a beautiful mold and such a beautiful repaint of it in the Thundercracker blue. I think he just looks so good. The translucent cockpit looks amazing. And of course, they all have the same blasters, null rays, as the original Classic Starscream. And the good thing is it actually takes a decent amount of pressure to get them to shoot. So they won't just go firing off for no reason. In fact, it's really kind of awkward to kind of squeeze it the right way, and then it'll shoot. So I actually like that. So when I'm messing around with them, they're not just flying off all the time. You have to be pretty intentional at getting these things to fire. But otherwise, yeah, here's a real good look at Thundercracker. I think he looks great. And they did a great job with this mold in retooling what they needed to retool. As you can see, like Dirge here has a different wings. The transformation's the same, but you have the smaller front wings here for Dirge, and then the larger ones in the back. So, and again, keeping his classic colors, his G1 colors, he looks just as amazing. And again, they did the retooling necessary with this mold to make him Dirge accurate. Is great. Of course, that's what Hasbro does when it comes to the Seekers, but they didn't skimp on this Classics mold. Here's Thrust as well, looking really cool and very thrusty with the atoll bits right here, there, and just again another great paint job. I love the maroon of Thrust. I think he looks so cool, the maroon and black. And yeah, all 3 of them are just really great. And I need to pick up Ramjet from the Classics line so I can have all 6 Seekers in that Classics mode, which I think is just great. But anyway, to transform them, we'll do Thundercracker here because he's the most just like Starscream, that original mode. So what you'll do, and by the way, you'll see a lot of similarities between this and the modern Seekers mode which we have now. But you'll take the wings and you'll just kind of fold them up just like that. Untab and fold those up. You can take the flaps here and fold them up like so, and then these the tail flaps here will, if I get terminology wrong, I'm working in a hurry here, we'll fold these up, and there you have the little nubbin and the little space there. They'll kind of fit into place just like that and hold in place. Same thing over here, bring it up, then you can bring the feet down, push those into place, and then of course just bring the legs down and split the legs. Now working up top here, we're going to take the cockpit and just kind of pull it away from the rest. And then you can take the cockpit, bring it forward, twist it around, and then just push that all the way down into place. And then we're going to take this bit, the nose cone, and just kind of fold it back. And then we can push all this together so that these bits slot in there nicely. Before we do that, we need to bring the arms out. So fold the arms out on either side just like that. Then we can push it into place. And then the arms, of course, we'll take those, we'll pop out the fists on either side. Just like so. And then of course we can push the nose cone down and back a bit, just like that. And then you want to take his blasters, and you could put him on the back of his wings, but you can also of course put him on his arms, like so. And there we have Thundercracker in that classic Seeker mode. Whoops. And there we have Thundercracker in that classic Seeker mode, looking absolutely incredible. And let's go ahead and get Thrust and Dirge transformed as well now. And here we have all three Seekers from the Generations line. And yes, they all look super awesome in my humble opinion. And notice the only real difference in the transformations is the cone heads. Instead of the cone folding back, their heads just fold around. Whoops. And so we twist that around like that to reveal their heads, and then just push everything back into place. So here you can get a closer look. We'll just scoot these guys out of the way since they don't want to be in the shot anyway. A closer look at Dirge here, and again, just really good looking figures, slim, just great, super fun molds. Really love these guys. We'll set Dirge to the back, and we'll grab Thrust and get a closer look. So here we have Thrust, also looking incredible, and I chose to leave the VTOL bits up here. They will come off. You can put them down here. You can kind of put them wherever you want. For now, I've just left them there. And again, he also just looks incredible. I love the color in all of the Seekers. I think they did a great job with all of them. And if you can't find all the new ones, all the new molds in the shops, well, this is a great alternative for you. And these guys are so cheap. You can pick them up for $25-30, and I think they look great. But anyway, they're your classic Seekers, all looking very cool.
Help! Prison riot! Darkmount, I've been taken hostage by my own prisoners!
And now let's check out the other jets from the line, who are both also really cool.
Turning now to a couple non-Seeker jets, we have two really fun, sort of lesser-known characters from G1. You have Thunderwing here that came out in one of the earlier waves that just looks really good and has some fun homages to the original character. As you can see here, he does have landing gear, and he has these really cool bright orange translucent missiles and the orange canopy here. You got the Decepticon logos on the side, and this is a very fun sort of, I think like an F-22 Raptor, and a very different type of design from the Seekers, which is really cool. And then they took this mold and they retooled it and did a repaint on it to create Sky Shadow, or Black Shadow, that is from the G1 Japanese Victory cartoon. A really cool character from that, who was under the employ of Hellbat, I believe. I watched a few episodes, and I really like the Sky Shadow character. So, two great figures to come out of this mold. Again, from the line that keeps on giving, that original Generations line. This came much later in 2011. It was from the final wave, I think. And this was the earlier version here with a Thunderwing. And yeah, one of the cooler things about it is that, close up the landing gear there, and we can take this bit off, and you have a little drone that comes off that separates from the front. Actually, I think we should have opened the landing gear for that, my bad. But it takes a little bit of work to get it off there, but then you have this fun little drone that detaches, which is a really cool homage to the original Thunderwing, the G1. Here is the smaller, the main figure here. It was a Pretender, and they had, of course, had the shell, and this is Thunderwing here, and as you can see, that's a great homage to the original Thunderwing. Now, I also have his Pretender shell, which will, once we transform, you'll see the robot mode for Thunderwing is pretty close to this original Pretender shell. I'm missing the head and some parts, so I'm still always on the lookout on that for eBay. But anyway, just showing that original G1 Thunderwing there, so you can see how that drone works in. That's really cool. So anyway, we can put that back in, snap that back on, put that landing gear up. And of course, Sky Shadow has the same thing, being a retool. He also has the drone that can pop off as well. So that's super cool. And by the way, while we're here, just to talk about repaints, I mean, Thunderwing looks like Thunderwing, and that's cool, but as far as just a paint deco goes, just as for aesthetics, the black and red and silver just look incredible on Sky Shadow. Such a sleek, really cool looking figure. And if the translucent orange wasn't cool enough, the translucent red is just really striking. And of course they're pew-pews and they shoot, and that's awesome as well. They even have like little extra rockets on the side on here. They come off, of course. And yeah, the detailing and everything just looks super incredible. I wish we could take more time on it, but we got to keep moving. So let's go ahead and show the transformations for these. I'm actually just going to leave the rockets on for now. I think I can get away with that. What we're going to do is we're going to come underneath here, and we're going to kind of pull the legs back just to give room to bring the torso out. So we'll kind of bring the legs back, and that'll get us what we need to grab this bit here and open the torso up just like so. And then we can take the legs, and they're kind of on an interesting joint here. They're kind of tabbed into the wings, pull them out, and you see you just kind of pull them down like this. It's kind of tough to get it out there, but see this bit here comes down like that. And then you can take the legs or the feet and just kind of fold them out just like so. And then we can bring this bit down like that. And he has these cool little hip flaps on the side that I think look really cool. Then this piece can come down, and that will reveal his head, and we have his arms there. Now for the wings, what we want to do, we'll kind of get this up and out of the way, and then we can take the wings, we'll bring these parts out, we'll fold this bit back down, and then we can fold everything up and over on a little double hinge right there, and then we can bring this whole bit back down, tab that onto the back like so, and here you have Thunderwing in his incredible robot mode. Yeah, just absolutely awesome. I like him looking just like this with the weapons on here as well. It's just such a cool look. And yeah, by the way, he does have really good light piping, as you can see there. He's one of those I would just have sitting on my desk and notice his eyes glowing because of that light piping. So that's really effective and looks really cool. So yeah, even when I take the light away, you can still see those eyes are alive, and I love a good light piping. And just look at the chest and the legs here. If I bring back in the original Thunderwing, you can see kind of the similar designs to the original, what they were going for. Of course, I'm missing the head and stuff, so can't really show the whole thing, but anyway, you get the idea. Very cool Thunderwing figure. And if you're a Thunderwing super fan, this is a cool one to have. And of course, you can take the guns off and he can hold those as well. But let's go ahead and get Sky Shadow transformed as well. As you can see with Sky Shadow here, there is a decent amount of retooling. They've done the chest differently. You've got some really cool details here that look like him in his cartoon. And just overall, the design is so cool. Like I said, I love the red, black, and silver. I think that those colors work together so well. And he's got such an awesome, cool looking villain vibe. And yeah, again, also great light piping. And you'll notice the heads are different as well. He has these spikes here like he did in the cartoon. Not sure what you call those. I don't think they're antenna, but anyway, he's got those horns and a completely different head sculpt for Thunderwing here. So again, it's a retool, but it's a pretty heavy one where they definitely look like two different figures. Enough differences to make it just really cool. So it's a great mold, and I love both versions of it. I think they just look super awesome together, and yeah, more just great G1 goodness. The Generations line just gives us so much across the board, and these two characters are just super awesome.
Cursors disabled, Commander Lotso. Silence, minions of Zerg. You're in the custody of the Galactic Alliance.
And last but not least, a figure that tried desperately not even to be in this video, it's Darkmount, otherwise known as Straxus.
So now let's talk about Darkmount, a figure that is clearly haunted. I've originally shot this video and then realized when I was editing that the original video was gone. I didn't even know it until I was almost done with this video. So I reshot it, and then I realized filming half of it, I talked for 3 minutes and the memory card was full, and I never noticed that the memory card was full and it stopped recording. So anyway, this is take 3 on Darkmount. And yes, Darkmount is super awesome. We're not going to complain. This figure may be haunted, but that's okay. As you can see, he's a half-track vehicle with a tank mode and a turret. It will go all the way around like that. And you've got several C-clip weapons. You got 3 different C-clip weapons and plenty of C-clip joints to put them on. So very cool in his tank alt mode. We won't spend too much time because he is technically a triple changer, and I'll show his sort of mode. It's kind of a mid-transformation battle station mode you can do with them, and it is pretty cool, but it's also a little funky. But it's why you have these little handles right here. So anyway, one more look at this. You notice, by the way, M17 on the front, that references Marvel issue 17. That's the first appearance of Straxus in the comics, and he was brutal. He ruled over Darkmount. That was the area he was in, and he was literally melting robots, Autobots, and sometimes Decepticons to use. So he was an evil guy and a really fun villain, and this is, I think, probably one of the best Straxus figures we got. I think he's really cool. So anyway, let's go ahead and show his battle station mode, which we're going to get by sort of splitting the arms a bit like this. We're going to open the front. We want to twist the tank around like that, and then we can split what will be the legs eventually. We're going to open this bit up on the side. I think they want you to do that too. Bring these parts out and bring this up, bring the legs down and kind of fold it up like that. And these will come up, and you can kind of twist them sideways if you want, like that. So they become like handles for the weapon, and you can create like a battle station mode. And if you had a scout class figure, they could come up and hold this, and that was kind of the general idea of that. And okay, fine. I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty cool. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on with the rest of the transformation. To that, I'm going to get the C-clip weapons out of the way. That one always pulls out of the ball joint, but that's fine. So anyway, this is always a messy one to transform, but you can get it done. What you want to do is open the arms quite a bit, because you want to bring the whole tank section down, push it through the arms. And there's not really a clean way to do that other than just kind of open them wide and push it down and get it through there like that. And then we can start. What we want to do next is actually get the weapon out of here, and you take these flaps here, you can kind of open them up, and you can pull out his little battle axe. It's kind of posted in there, so you can pull that out of there, and we can set that to the side. Now, next thing we want to do is unfurl the legs, which you can do by just taking these bits down, just like so. Oh yeah, we'll come back to the front. We'll take these rubber handles, twist them around to give him sort of weird pointy knee things. So we'll do them like that. For the feet, you open them up, but you also want to push out what'll be the heel, and you can do that by pushing on this side here to kind of get that flap opened up, and then you can bring the foot down and bring the heel all the way out like that. Same thing on the other side. We'll push this in to get that flap open, bring the foot down, open that out. And the feet are the worst part of this figure by a mile. You can already see they're pinned on the side like that, and they just don't work very well as feet at all. But anyway, we'll bring the legs on down, straighten those up, twist them around where they're supposed to be. We can close up these flaps again, kind of straighten up the feet like that with the heels. If it pops in, push it back out with the heels out like so, and those are your feet. And they're not great, but he will stand in them. He will hold up, but they're just not great feet. But anyway, now we want to twist this around because we want to open up this, and this bit here will tab into the slot right there, so you can bring that whole thing down and tab that in. And then for the arms, what you want to do is pull them out from these bits right here. And then now what you need to do is get the arms, swing the arms to the front here. And the best way I've seen to do that is to kind of take these, they tab in, so untab them, then swing them out and up like that. And that'll give you the clearance to push the arm through to the front like that, all the way up. Then this can come out to the side to make the shoulder, and then you can stretch out the arm like that. And he does have articulated fingers, which is cool. So once again, untab this from here, and then fold the whole thing up and out of the way, and then you can bring the arm, push it forward all the way, and bring that shoulder pad out like that. Now these, then you need to twist around, and again, clearance is tough here, so now even here you have the shoulder, move the shoulder pad out of the way so you can twist this around, and they will pop off. I was going to try and flex by not having them pop off during the transformation, but they're just going to do it sometimes. So I want that out of the way so I can twist this down and around like that. And then you can tab them into the back. They will untab quite easily too when you're messing around with the transformation, so I won't sweat it too much till it's all done. But there we have that done. Then for his head, we can open this tab up right here and bring the head up and out, which is actually easier. I find if it gets stuck there to untab this and then push the head up and out from underneath, because it can be tough to pull it down from there. So push that out, then we can bring this back down, tab it back in to place, put this back down, bring these up, we'll tab these back in and hope they stay for a little while. See that? Tab those in just like so, bring them down, bring them up, and here you have Straxus in his robot mode, and he is an impressive figure. I think he looks really cool. And like I said, the feet aren't great, but you can make him stand. Even the hip joints are a little loose, but he will still stand up. And for his axe, you can take that, you can turn it around this way, and you can pull these out however you want. You can bring this down if you want, whatever you want to do with it, but he will hold that. So we can put that in his hand, clip it in, and then close the hand up on it so he can wield his axe just fine. And then of course, we'll stand him here. He's got all his C-clip weapons. So the little like sort of rifle thing here, I think is fun to have on his hip. So sometimes I'll just take it, there's C-clip joints everywhere, I'll stick it on there. Stick on there like that. And then the little guns here, we could come up and stick on the clip up here. Get him standing again. Again, the joints are loose, but not that loose. So when I straighten them all up again, he's just fine. It's just a matter of getting all this stuff stuck on him. So we'll take the missile launcher here, and I think that'll be kind of fun to have on this shoulder over here. So there's also a C-clip right here. We can stick it right there. And there you go. There you have Darkmount Straxus in his robot mode, looking certainly very cool and very cartoon, or very, not cartoon, but very comic accurate to his look. Like, I mean, ripped right off the page in my opinion. So I think they did a great job with this. Now they did also use this mold for Skullgrin the Pretender, which I don't have, so I won't be talking about him in this video, but I do want to pick him up as well. The Warpath Cybertron figures I might not pick up as soon because I have the more modern version of those, and I don't love them anyway. But I definitely want to pick up the Skullgrin in this mode because they gave him the new head, the Skullgrin head and all that, and I think that's really cool. So yeah, this is a great figure as well. Yeah, it's problematic, but it makes up for it in being a fun like character we don't get to see as much, but who is a really cool character in the lore, and I like him quite a bit. So anyway, reshot for the third time, that is Straxus, and I think he's pretty awesome.